I tell you what, I tried to make the point a lot last week. This is not a rematch because a lot of things are different. So I'm not going to A to B and say that's what it would have looked like if Brock Purdy had played last year. I have no idea what would have happened. A bunch of stuff was different, and I do think that last year's Eagles defense was better than this year's Eagles defense. But my goodness, it was sure evident that for a lot of 49ers, it counted as a rematch. It exercised the negativity that they felt, the pain that they felt, quite frankly, the frustration that they felt last January. I mean, listen to Trent Williams.
I had full confidence that we would have this type of game from the jump. You know, we got a quarterback, so it made it a lot easier this time.
Yeah, we had a quarterback, so
made it a lot easier this time. See, when you have a quarterback,
I like playing with a quarterback. If
makes it a lot easier when you actually have a quarterback, a guy who can throw. And, not just hand it off over and over and over, which is what he was relegated into doing last year. I get it. And I get for fans, I think it's much more of an emotional vindication. It's a vindication sensation, Mark, is what it is.
I think for the players, too.
To an extent.
Yes.
And you and I talked about it last week, and I thought that it would be more of a chit for them to win this game, more of a chip in their... more of an arrow in their quiver, more of a notch in their holster if they have to go there again, knowing that they can go there and win. And to do it in that fashion, It absolutely builds their confidence. You were saying that they're going to be confident no matter what, and you're probably right.
Now they're going to be uber confident.
Now they're not overconfident, but they're going to be more confident.
Uber confident,
and yes, and they're going to know that what they schemed to do worked. And their scheme defensively was keep Jalen Hurts contained. You had Fred Warner spying him a lot, so when he tried to run, Fred would roll up on him. You defended well for the most part. First couple drives were a little bit wonky in terms of your man-to-man coverages. You missed a couple tackles, but after that, you dominated on defense. Offensively, took you a couple of series to get your footing.
Sure.
But once you did, there was no stopping the Niners.
No, I listen, to me, home field advantage largely is about the start of a football game. Yes, it's an advantage throughout, but X's and O's ends up beating out screaming people named like screaming people with hot dogs. It's like that doesn't win. What wins is an environment, but it's also the energy. It's the energy. Those 3 points you get are kind of like, well, that energy at the beginning is probably going to give them a little boost. And their energy was really good. Like, I'm not here to discredit Eagles fans. I don't love all of their opinions. I don't love all of their way. But my gosh, you do a great job. You know what I mean? Everybody else in America gives all their tickets to Niner fans. So, like, good job, Eagles fans. Like, it's one of the few places in America right now where you can have a home field advantage against the 49ers. Imagine that for this team. Don't discount that. The 49ers don't do that. They don't go into other stadiums and have everybody wearing a different color screaming at them. Like, I don't know. Has that happened this year? Did it happen last year?
Yesterday was probably the closest to that.
One of the first times. So, like, they're sitting there going, whoa, they're a little different. And it took them a minute.
Yeah.
But all you got to do is not let the game get out of hand in those moments. And they didn't. And I think that, gosh, if they do go back, that's the only way that they would be in trouble, is if it was 14-0 after the first 7 minutes of the game. Because they're, again, if everybody's blessed with health, they're the better team. They'll be favored again when they go back.
Yeah, they'll be favored in every game from here on out.
Favored by more. Oh, sure. If they're healthy, they're the favorite.
They'll be favored in every game. And you asked 100%. Me before if I'd seen the number for Sunday. I haven't. And we can do game show music if you want, and I can guess. But I'm thinking about the rest of the schedule. And even Baltimore on Christmas Day, they're not going to be underdogs. If they get all the way to the Super Bowl, if they get in the middle of a take here, we could have waited, but
we can still hear you. Go ahead.
We're listening. I haven't gotten it wrong yet, Grandy. Bitter in there. Lost the game, and your guy lost the Heisman.
I was buzzing myself for the early game show music. Come on, dude.
Bro, Nick's he's a finalist though, so congrats.
I love when Lucas chimes in to pile on Grandy. You don't hear this guy for weeks on end.
You know who's not a finalist? Caleb Williams.
Williams. Boy.
I mean,
what a season.
Easiest call of all time was when he walked off the field at the end of the UCLA game.
Right.
That was the last time he was putting the uniform on. Everybody knew that.
And if you're Bo Nix, do you play in the meaningless bowl game? I would say no, but I don't want to get
thrilling matchup against Liberty University in the Fiesta
my
Bowl.
fault. You got it. When Liberty come, Liberty. You got to get up for Liberty. I take it back.
In that game, Liberty.
Bo Nix playing.
Exactly.
You can't root against Liberty.
I would.
You can root against freedom next.
Thank you.
I see where you're going, Lucas. Even though I don't see you,
get the WAP ready. I've been to Liberty.
No.
I've called a game on campus at Liberty.
You gotta prove it.
No joke.
I couldn't even tell you what state that's in.
Lynchburg, Virginia.
There was a game show in there.
Yeah.
Stop whooping me.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Cal Poly went there.
Cal Poly went to Lynchburg, Virginia, and played Liberty.
And I was there.
What'd you guys lose by?
On the field. It's our only loss of the year.
Football?
Yeah. No, lacrosse.
Might have been baseball.
I think I'm out there calling. What do you think? We're going to play volleyball?
I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was at Cal State Northridge, I broadcasted for like 6 different teams.
Stop whopping me.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've been there.
Anyway, the spread. Do you want to play Guess the Spread?
Go for it.
Grandy, if you would, please.
Now you got to give me a second.
Yeah, come on, Grandy.
He was on the Kruger page. Stop whooping me.
Lucas, you do a lot of things well. One of them is not imitating this song. Anyway.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think the number is?
Man, well, Seattle coming in off additional rest, Mark, which gives them an edge. But, God, coming off that absolute whopping of the Eagles.
Yep.
I'd say the Niners are favored by 9.5. 9 and a hook, Mark.
Randy, what's our plus minus?
Usually plus or minus 1.
Yeah, I was going to give him a point on either side.
And you said 9.5?
9 and a hook. It's an even 10?
10.5.
Oh, it's a 10.5?
10.5.
Whoa.
And actually, I think it started bigger. I think it's come down. I think, because I saw tweets about this yesterday that the Niners opened at 12.5.
Jeez.
Against Seattle, and it's come down a little bit. But the 49ers are favored by double digits over the Seattle Seahawks.
I can see it.
Of course.
Well, I can see it coming down also, though, because this is a letdown spot in many ways. Niners are coming off of the biggest game, the biggest regular season game, the NFC rematch, and all the rest of it. And Seattle is off additional rest. And
desperate, no doubt. I'll just say this, though. Outside of Sean McVegas, the Niners have won all of their wins by double digits. So it seemingly is get the game in your favor, and then off we go. But, Seattle that's a team that it's interesting. The Niners have pretty much handled them the last couple of years for sure under at least under Purdy. Purdy's been able to play them now 3 times, and they've handled all of them. But the one in the playoffs, that was a little wonky there for the first half, and that was at Levi Stadium. A little bit of a rainy day, all those things, but whatever. I don't like right now. The betting public is going to be so excited about the 49ers. It's kind of hard. Like the numbers you're going to see the rest of the way will remind you of the 49ers of the 80s and those kinds of spreads where it was like, who's coming? And it's either 13.5 or it's 11.5. If they're good, it's 11.5. If they stink, it's 15.5. You know what I mean? Like that's what people are going to feel about the Niners until they have another bad game. If they have another bad game,
right? I'm just looking at them right now, and 10.5 against Seattle, -7 at Arizona the following week.
That's interesting.
-3 at home against Baltimore. -3.5 at Washington, and then -7 against the Rams.
Those feel low.
Yeah.
Those feel low to me.
And this is at 4for4.com.
Yeah, the Baltimore thing is just the requisite home field 3. I'd argue. I mean, that's calling them even teams, which that's not what people think right now. I'm not even saying they're wrong. Baltimore's very good, but that's not what people think right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one team that's taking the best other teams in their conference and smashing them. Like, the Niners are the NFC, what the Ravens would be in the AFC if they had taken off the Chiefs and beat them by 24.
Right.
That's not happening. They've beaten Detroit by a lot. They beat Seattle by a lot. But I don't see people dismantling the Chiefs and the Jags and the Dolphins. We haven't seen that from Baltimore. But, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Opportunity, if you ask me.
For sure.
If you're able to bet on those yet.
Yeah, usually they don't post them until the week before, so you're going to have to wait on that Baltimore line.